molar heat capacity. Now here let us see what is the definition of molar heat capacity. It is also the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of a substance by 1 degree. It is the heat required to raise the temperature of that substance which is 1 mole by 1 degree, that is molar heat capacity. The amount of heat required, the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of a substance by 1 degree. Alright, here only 1 degree. Okay. The amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of a substance by 1 degree. So in terms of heat capacity, how we can write here? Heat capacity is equal to heat capacity per unit moles that will give us the value of molar heat capacity. That will give us value of molar heat capacity. How? That we'll see here. This sentence is very important. Heat capacity per unit moles, per unit number of moles, that will give us molar heat capacity. Here this is definition. The amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of a substance by 1 degree. And here with respect to heat capacity per unit volume, that is nothing but molar heat capacity. So here if we consider molar heat capacity by Cm later. So here we can write here Cm is equal to C upon N. C means heat capacity and divided by N, that is number of moles. N, that is number of moles. So here molar heat capacity Cm is equal to heat capacity upon number of moles. But here we have to find out the amount of heat required. So again here we can put the value of heat capacity by dq upon dt. So here we'll get the equation Cm is equal to dq upon dt into N. Okay, so here we can transfer this N dt to opposite side and we'll get here dq is equal to N Cm dt. So here we can integrate this equation to find out the heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of substance by 1 degree. So here find out the integration of this stage. Dq is equal to, so here integration of dq is equal to integration of N Cm dt is equal to, we'll get here integration of this dq, that is q, N into Cm as it is, and here integration of dt, limits varies from t1 to t2, that will provide us the value del t. That means here q is equal to N into Cm into del t, that means t2 minus t1. Okay, so this is the molar heat capacity for any substance. That means it is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of a substance by 1 degree, and this is the required heat. So don't do any jumbling between the formulas of heat capacity, molar heat capacity and specific heat capacity. Okay, formulas are somewhat same only, but there is somewhat difference, and so keep in mind the definition with respect to heat capacity. If we want to define specific heat capacity in terms of heat capacity, so heat capacity per unit mass, that will give us specific heat capacity, and heat capacity per unit moles, that will give us molar heat capacity. So these formulas are very important formulae to solve the little bits. Okay, so here if we consider this molar heat capacity, now here there are two conditions we have to follow. There are two conditions to find out the molar heat capacity, which are that we have to find out molar heat capacity at constant pressure, and we have to find out molar heat capacity at constant volume, So here we can find out here molar heat capacity at constant pressure. So here we can denote this heat required by QP. Okay, QP, that is amount of heat required at constant pressure to raise the temperature of 1 mole of a substance by 1 degree. And here at constant volume, if we want to define that molar heat capacity, so here from this formula we can write here QV. Here subscript V, that indicates that molar heat capacity at constant volume, and here subscript P indicates that molar heat capacity at constant pressure. So here how we can write formulas for QP and CV, let us see here. Here if this formula is known to all of you, then here replace only QP is equal to NCM. CM means molar heat capacity, so replace this by CP, that is molar heat capacity at constant pressure into del T. So at constant pressure, this formula we have to use. Constant pressure, that means heat required at constant pressure is nothing but the molar heat capacity. Here heat required at constant volume is equal to N into Cv into del T. This is molar heat capacity at constant volume. Formula is very same formula we have to apply here. Here only subscript P is written for constant pressure. Here without writing here subscript M, write here subscript P, that also indicates molar heat capacity at constant pressure, and here molar heat capacity at constant volume, only here subscript for Q is written and subscript for C is written. Formulas are same. Okay, so here these three formulas are also very important when we are going to study the concept of molar heat capacity. So here we can relate this molar heat capacity at constant pressure and constant volume by one of the very interesting relation, and that is Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Cp minus Cv is equal to R. That means here molar heat capacity at constant pressure minus molar heat capacity at constant volume is equal to R, but this is for 1 mole of substance. 1 mole of substance. Now here we can write Cp minus Cv is equal to N into R for N number of mole of substance. Cp minus Cv is equal to N into R for number of moles N. Cp minus Cv is equal to N into R. This relation is very important. So here depending upon this, one of the formula we have to see. Depending upon that, MCQs can be asked. So Poisson's formula, here we can relate gamma is equal to Cp upon Cv. Gamma is equal to Cp upon Cv. Now here we know that Cp minus Cv is equal to R. So here we can replace Cp by R plus Cv in this equation. This is according to Poisson formula. Gamma is equal to Cp upon Cv. We can replace here value of Cp from this equation. Cp is equal to R plus Cv. So R plus Cv divided by Cv, that will give us value of gamma. Okay, so here we can write this formula. Gamma is equal to, if we separate out this denominator, then R upon C into V plus 1. R upon CV plus 1, because here R upon CV plus CV upon CV, that will give us here 1. So here we can write this formula in this way also. R upon CV is equal to, now this plus 1 will become minus 1, gamma minus 1. These formulas are very, very important. Okay, so here we can relate this gamma and CPCV with one of the interesting relation with the degree of freedom. So here we'll get CV is equal to FR upon 2. FR upon 2. Here CV means here molar heat capacity at constant volume. Here F, that is degree of freedom. Here what is R, that is gas constant. And so here we'll get here this relation is very important. CV is equal to F into R divided by 2. Now what is meant by this F? That is degree of freedom. Degree of freedom. Degree of freedom. Now this degree of freedom, that are mainly of 3 types. 3 types. Which are that we'll see here. That are translational, degree of freedom. Second one is rotational, degree of freedom. And third one is vibrational degree of freedom. There are 3 types of degree of freedom: translational degree of freedom, rotational degree of freedom, and vibrational degree of freedom. But in our syllabus we have to think about only these 2 forms. Translational degree of freedom, that is denoted by FT, that is denoted by FT. Rotational degree of freedom, that is denoted by FR. So here if we want to find out total degree of freedom, here we can write total degree of freedom is equal to, now translational degree of freedom is denoted by FT plus rotational degree of freedom is denoted by FR plus vibrational degree of freedom is denoted by FV. But here we have to discard this FV because we are only concerning with this FT and FR. So to find out total degree of freedom, we have to use this formula. Total degree of freedom is equal to FT plus FR. Translational degree of freedom plus rotational degree of freedom. So here one thing we have to keep in mind, that we are related with the translational degree of freedom. So here FT is always 3. Value of FT is always 3 and value of FR is always 0. Value of FR is always 0. When we are going to find out total degree of freedom for any system is equal to translational degree of freedom plus rotational degree of freedom, and value of translational degree of freedom is always 3. Value of rotational degree of freedom is always 0. And so the formula we have to write here, let us relate here, CV is equal to F into R by 2. F into R by 2. Now here this F, say this as a translational degree of freedom because FR is 0. So total degree of freedom will become 3. So here we can write CV is equal to 3 into R divided by 2. 3 into R divided by 2. So here we know that CP is equal to CV plus R. CP is equal to CV plus R. From this value of degree of freedom, we can find out molar heat capacity at constant pressure. So here if we replace this value of CV into this formula, then we will get here 3R by 2 plus R. After cross multiplication, here 3R plus 2R divided by 2, that will give us 5R divided by 2, and this is the value of CP. This is the value of Cp, and from this value of Cv and from this value of Cp we can find out Poisson ratio, that is gamma, and that is given by gamma is equal to Cp upon Cv. Cp upon Cv. So here gamma is equal to, what is the value of Cp? That is 5R upon 2. 5R upon 2 divided by, what is the value of Cv? That is 3R upon 2. 3R upon 2. Here after simplification we'll get the value of gamma. Here value of gamma is equal to 5R upon 2. Here we'll get reciprocal of this into 2 upon 3R. 2 will get cancelled, R will get cancelled, and here finally we'll get the value of gamma, that is 5 upon 3, and these values are very important. Here we'll get the value of, from the degree of freedom we'll find the value of Cp and Cv, and from the value of Cp and Cv we can find out this ratio, that is nothing but gamma, and that value is found to be gamma is equal to 5 upon 3. So we'll stop here. Thank you.